So, the first ever Real and Raw podcast, and we're here with Keegan Hirst.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Really looking forward to this. A bit nervous actually, because I've never done one of these before. So, the aim of this podcast is to get real and raw, and I thought, what better person to choose as my first guest than you?
Cheers,
Because you've got a real and raw story, haven't you?
Yeah, I suppose some people would say that definitely. Yeah, I suppose we'll let people decide when we get into it.
Do you want to tell everyone a bit of a synopsis about you? Maybe don't give away everything yet, but who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Yeah, so just northern lads from a little town called Batley. Grew up on a council estate, single parent family, all that. Got into rugby by accident. I was crap at it for years. Ended up going through academies, got binned off by Bradford Bulls, ended up dropping down a few leagues, playing for Dewsbury, working my way up through the leagues. Got married, had some kids. Had a bit of a mix-up, I suppose you could call it. I suppose we'll get to that later. Played for Wakefield for the last few years, Super League, and do a lot of speaking about my story. And if you don't want to give it away, it's hard to give a synopsis. And then, yeah, it's certainly been a bit of a roller coaster.
Tell us just before what we're going to get into, which is going to be, real powerful for some people. So give us your stats. You're 6 foot.
6'4", 117 kilos, brown hair, blue eyes. Yeah.
Chiseled jawline.
Great jawline, lovely smile.
And your job as a rugby league player, professional prop forward, is to run into people's hard you can, isn't it?
Yeah, my job is to get the ball, not do anything fancy, tuck it under the wing and go get smashed for a living, and then try and do that to other people. I don't get paid a lot, and I don't get any glory for it, so it's a bit of a thankless task, but such is the life of a rugby league prop. You know, mate, you did it.
I did it, yeah, for a little bit, yeah. And you were part-time at the time, going back a couple of years. You were at Batley Bulldogs, which is one of the most working class towns you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Proper Yorkshire.
Yeah, 100%. I've spent the vast majority of my career playing part-time. Made my debut for Dewsbury, which is a stone's throw from Batley, when I was 18 years old. Played at Dewsbury, played at Featherstone, all your classic working men's clubs. And then Batley was obviously my hometown club, where I ended up being captain before going on to play Super League for the last 3 years, yeah.
And what were it like for you at them times when you knew you were playing rugby? About yourself, were you confident in yourself, comfortable, or?
I'll tell you, I think looking back, rugby has been a constant in my life since I was 11-year-old, and it's always given me, without me realising, it's always given me a purpose. I think it's really important in our lives to have a purpose, whether that's being a dad, work, whatever it being, doing something in the community, with religion or whatever. And I suppose rugby was my purpose. It was getting up, playing. I'm a big believer in being part of a team. I function well in a team.
Yep.
So it was always a big cornerstone of my life. So I've always been really grateful for that, for the camaraderie of it, and I never, I'm not the best player in the world, never will be, but I work hard and I do what I need to do, and I'm probably willing to do what some other people want, to roll my sleeves up and turn up early and that kind of stuff. So I'm not under any illusions about being an amazing player, but I'm confident in what I can do, and I can do it well. And yeah, I know I'm good in that team environment. That's where I thrive.
And we've been on about this reveal, and it wasn't some big reveal. But I just think it's just interesting. We'll give a bit of a backstory. This big, tough rugby league player from the north.
Yeah,
as you said, 6'5", 117 kg, runs into walls, likes get his rolling his sleeves up and getting stuck in. And there were a realisation that came for you, wasn't there?
Yeah, so I think I'll go back to high school really. So the reveal is I'm gay. So I'm gay. When I was 14, 13, when we're all at high school and we kind of start fancying boys and girls and whatever's going on, I kind of was attracted to lads, and I thought, is everyone talking about this? Certainly, funnily enough, I had this conversation with my daughter last night, and it's where I grew up and how I was brought up by my mum. My mum never said to me, "You can be who you want to be. You can be what you want to be." But she was never brought up with that kind of thing. It was you brought up and this is the mold that you're supposed to fit into. You're supposed to grow up. You're supposed to have kids, get a family, do what normal people do in inverted commas, and that was kind of just hammered home growing up. Society, gay people were people like Elton John, George Michael, who were quite effeminate, quite camp, quite out there, pretty fabulous.
Yep.
Which is not I mean, it can be, but it's not my default. So I grew up and I was kind of figuring, I kind of fancy boys here. But is no one else talking about it? Am I supposed to fancy girls? I think I'm supposed to fancy girls. I'm not like these other people. I play rugby. I come from Batley. There's no gay people in Batley. That's what I thought. So I just thought I just have to kind of fit into this mould and it'll go away. And that's what I did. I grew up. I went out. I had girlfriends. I ended up meeting my wife. We had kids. We had kids early on. We'd not been together long when she got pregnant. I was only young. I was like 19 when she got pregnant. And so I just hoped that these feelings would go away. I didn't want to be gay. I just wanted a no-fuss life and get on and be happy. And as I was progressing through life, which was playing rugby, which was having a young family, I think when you're in a situation that doesn't marry up with who you are and your values and where you're at, it starts, there's friction. And there was certainly a lot of friction. I was struggling with who I actually was with who I was trying to be. So I carried on as much as I could, and I struggled with depression. I thought about killing myself a couple of times when it got really bad, just because I didn't see a way out. I didn't want to feel how I felt shit. I was a shit husband. I was a shit dad. I didn't particularly like myself. I didn't like that I was having these feelings. I wasn't okay with it. I was shitting myself that someone might find out that I liked lads, and then what's going on? Have I got married to someone and led her on? Because that's not a nice thing to do. Which isn't what happened, but it's certainly what it might look like from the outside. Started drinking a lot, started going out a lot, relationships suffered, work suffered, rugby suffered, because obviously we were part-time, so I had a proper job. And I've had a few jobs. I've been a joiner. I was at the time when I was captain at Batley, I was a manager at a factory, and work was suffering, everything was suffering, and I was suffering big time. And eventually, after a few years of that, my relationship with my wife kind of fell apart, understandably. And then when we split up, suddenly I didn't have to fit this mould anymore. I didn't have to live up to this expectation, this societal norm. And then I started to kind of come to terms with the fact that I was gay and be okay with it. And at first, I couldn't even say it. I couldn't even say I'm gay. I couldn't think it. It was really difficult. It would literally stick in my throat. So much so that when I told my wife, I said I kind of like lads, because I couldn't
get it out.
Vocalise it. And then obviously over the last, it's like 4 years now. So over the last 4 years, I've become really comfortable with it. It's fine. I accept it. In fact, I'm happy about it. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I'm a better person, better dad, better rugby player, better everything really. So that's kind of that's kind of a brief.
Take me to that defining moment, because most people, when they're suicidal or in a real bad place, they lose hope, don't they? So obviously, by the sound of it, that hope had gone on it of a future where you could actually say, I am Keegan, this is who I really am. And that becomes that identity clash. It's a fucking struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, big time.
Where was that moment where it just went, right, this is it now, I'm going to be me?
I think it was kind of forced upon me, really, and not in a bad way. Once I'd split with Sarah, we'd been separated for a few months, And it's like I said, I'd started to kind of come to terms with it, and I thought I should explore this. So there's a couple of gay bars in Leeds, and I would venture off on my own and have a see what was going on. And obviously, being 6'4", I'm not necessarily the most inconspicuous of people. So obviously, someone had seen me going in. Something had been said, and they started these rumours going about. And at the time, I was kind of like, nah, I don't know what you're on about.
Changing room banter.
Yeah.
Whatever, lads.
Yeah, of course you've seen me, yeah. And then one night, we'd played, I think it was Hunslet we'd played. We used to go for a beer after a game, and we'd pub had shut. It was a Sunday night, so the pub had shut quite early. And I said, "Do you want to come back to my house, lads? We'll have a few more beers." So there was me and three of the rugby lads came back, and obviously we all had a bit of a drink, and everyone's a bit fresh. And one of the lads, Joe Chandler, said, "Right, Keegan, what is it about these rumours? Are they true or not?" And it must have been a split second, but for me, it lasted an eternity. And I remember thinking, do I just say, do I bite the bullet? Do I deny? If I deny, will I ever be able to say it? Like, I had this really long debate with myself about what I do, and I just got to a point, and I just went, you know what, fuck it, and I went, yeah, and it cut out of slow-mo, and I went, yeah, they're true, yeah, I'm gay, yeah, and it the air went out of the room, and Chandler went, all right. Alex Rowe were there, who was one of my best mates. He started crying, and he's a big tough bastard, Rowe, from Lewisham, big hard bastard, had a tough upbringing himself. He started crying, and I said, "What's up with you, mate?" And he said, I'm just really sorry that you've had to go through all this on your own.
Wow.
And then that was kind of it. And they said, "What do we do if anyone asks?" And I said, "Well, I suppose people know now." So it's there in it, and it was just
a relief.
Yeah,
just
it's. I'm sure you know, and a lot of people know, when you hold something in for so long, whatever it is, it just builds up and it builds up, and the fear gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then for that just to release the pressure, it was, like, I don't know if you ever had a bad tooth and you've had to have it out, but as soon as it comes out, you just go, "Oh my God!"
Yes.
It's just a great feeling, and that was it then. And then I was kind of on the way. I don't know if I'd already spoken to Sarah. Obviously, I had to tell my wife. I had to tell the lads. I had to tell my mum. Eventually, I had to tell the kids. So it was a bit of a turbulent time. My mum didn't take it well. I don't speak to my mum now. Sarah, understandably, found it really difficult. Because she obviously thought, "Why would you marry me if you were gay?" But
people have this weird thing, and tell me if I'm out of turn here, but I'm trying to keep it real and raw. And the reason why I wanted to get you on as well was to educate me on this stuff. But I always remember when we were younger, if any lads had ever slept with anyone and that person then became gay, or vice versa, people think that they turned you.
They turned him, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's an art saying turn or what, but people think that. And I imagine she'd have been a bit similar, and she's like, "Were I not good enough? Have I turned you? Have I put you off?" And the questions and the self-doubt for her.
100%.
Which would create a lot of guilt for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And seeing my kids every day was a reminder of that guilt. It was like, have I fucked Sarah's life up? Have I fucked my kids' life up? Because they didn't ask for this. No, they didn't ask for any of this. So I suppose the thing with it's old school, isn't it? If the thing about turning someone implies that there's a choice in there, and some people would argue, but if I could have chosen not to be gay, I would have done that years ago. I tried my damnedest to not be gay.
Yeah.
I got married and had 2 kids. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't a choice. It was just always there. It was just, I didn't feel like I could be, or that it was acceptable to be, or lots of different things that kind of combined to make me feel how I did about my sexuality. But yeah, no, that I can understand why she would feel like that, and she would feel embarrassed and shamed or whatever. But it wasn't anything to do with that. That's not a thing.
And I'm sort of glad that you said about that relief thing, because when I first got involved with mental health, I used to talk about it's, and even though I probably had no knowledge, and I used to say, when you admit about having a mental health problem, I used to say it's where we were at 5 years ago with the LGBT community coming out. Because I've got a lot of friends now, I know a lot of people who are comfortably out there, which I think is unbelievable. Everyone should be. What my whole message about, be you. Everyone should be that. But I think we're at a point now where we've turned the corner. There's still going to be a lot of stigmas around that. There's a lot of people judgment. The fact that you had a lot of big, burly rugby bears who showed you no judgment, I think, is fantastic. Because I remember when I started Andy's Man Club, and I used to get asked a question all the time. Now you've done this, all your teammates, I bet they're on board with this mental health stuff out there. And I said no. I said one of the first comments I got when I first went back in rugby was in my opinion, suicide selfish. And I was like, at what point, 2 days after you've just lost someone really close to you, if I was devastated, does that give someone right to tell you their opinion of that? And you might have had that before with, want you to come out, people making assumptions, or whether people like politically correct didn't know what to say or act around it.
I remember I got a letter, and I'll never forget it because it was written in pencil from a guy called Steve in Wigan. I got a load of messages, but I remember this one particular letter, and it said, I don't agree with your choices. I don't agree with what you've done to your wife, your kids, your family. It's not right. It's da 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 da. But that was the minority.
But even so, and for every 1,000 comments I get about how amazing it is, there's that one person. No matter how mentally strong you are, no matter how much you train your mind, they can slip in. And they can get in there, and you see yourself focusing on that one person. Like, is it wrong? Or has Steve got a point here? Even though you know deep down, Ian, and you won't be sat here now if I've wanted you to come on of everyone because you fit so much with the BU message, because that's exactly what you've done, isn't it? If I take this back now to it's World Mental Health Day that we're recording this, there's people out there who might not be gay, they might not be struggling with the sexuality or the gender. They might be struggling with the gender, they might be struggling with their mental health, they might be struggling with a situation in life. And where I want to relate this back to them is that relief you got. Once you actually said, you know what, fuck this. I don't care what people think now. It's about time that I've just got to go, boom, have it. Accept me. Because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you've probably found this with your mum, if the right people in your life will stay for the right reasons. And if they're not meant to be, there's door, see you later.
100%. We've all got, whoever you are, whether you're a white, straight man, you've got something that you're not happy about, that you've got some unconscious bias about, whether that's a mental health problem, whether that's a drinking problem, whether that's debt, gambling, relationship issues. We've all got something that we're not sharing with everybody because we're all, as human beings, we've evolved to not want to be rejected. We're all pack animals. We all function in the society. That's what we are. That's how we've evolved. So we're all terribly scared of rejection. And so we're all holding that something in, and it takes effort. It takes effort to hold that something in, whatever it is. And I know we've spoken before, and it's the exact same principle of driving and texting at the same point. You can't concentrate on both at the same time. You just can't, because once someone's taking up you've only got a limited amount of concentration capacity. So if you're using 25% of it to not be open about who you are, you've got to watch what you say. You don't want something to slip out. You don't want to give people an inkling. You don't want people to ask prying questions. You don't want to have that difficult conversation. Then that's energy that is not spent living your life, being a good dad, being a good mum, being a good worker, boss, member of society, whatever it is, because you're using that part of your brain to hold that, and it's like exactly the same as driving and texting. You can't concentrate properly on both. And just by having a conversation with one person like that, with those lads, with Sarah, whoever, it's been different people at different times for me, but because you don't just come out once. And I'm sure if you've got a mental health problem, when I've spoke about that more than once, and exactly. It gets easier the more you do it. But that first time, the initial release of the pressure is such a good feeling, and you instantly think, fucking hell, I wish I'd have done this earlier. All the times I've sat crying, worrying, staring at the ceiling, not sleeping, thinking about it, cold sweats, whatever anxiety, whatever your perceived problem is that you've got, whatever it's sat festering inside you. And I always say it's like something festering, and it gets worse and worse and worse until you get rid of it. And then when you get rid of it, it's just that relief, and you think it doesn't matter whether it, like you say, it doesn't matter if it's your sexuality, mental health, gender, you know, gambling, whatever, all the stuff we've just said. It is all these old sayings we've got, they're all founded in truth, and a problem shared is a problem halved. 100% true. 100%.
Exactly. And I remember, you know, going back, I remember seeing it blow up on Twitter because we spoke about the build-up, you know, and I often say with other stuff we'll get into, people are rewarded in public for what they practice in private, right? And you'll know that with your rugby career, you know, you don't just turn up one day and become good, but you'd gone through all these struggles for, how old were you when you came out?
27.
27, so you've been playing part-time rugby. As you said, you were building your career up, and you were up and down, and because you were fighting with this identity. But then 27 came, you sort of blew up, didn't you? Once you'd got, it could be you could be comfortable being you could take that mask off. It all went a different corner. And talk me through the days leading up to, or the days after, when you came out, because I remember Twitter just going blow up, didn't it?
So obviously I came out and I told friends, family, rugby club and everything. And then, as you know, people in rugby can't hold their own pace, so it went round like wildfire, which was cool because I didn't have anything to hide anymore. It was cool. Obviously, and then the press got hold of it, and it was a case of, I remember JK giving me a ring, John Keir, who was coach at the time, and he obviously has a lot to do with the media, and he said, a couple of newspapers got hold of the story, and I think they're going to run it, maybe you want to get in touch with them. So obviously I was going through a divorce, I had kids, I didn't want anything writing that was going to upset the apple cart even more. So I spoke to them, I did an interview, and it ended up being front page news on the Sunday Mirror. Now I genuinely did not expect that. I was a part-time rugby league player who played in the championship, so not the top level, the part-time championship, Batley, arsehole of nowhere. I didn't think it was going to be anything, and it was front page. And I remember, because I used to have Twitter notifications on, because I had about 300 followers, and I remember like the headlines come out, don't they, about 11 o'clock the day before, and I'd just gone to bed because we had a game. It was a Saturday night. We were playing Dewsbury the next day, I remember, and my phones just started vibrating and going off, and I was like, fuck. Twitter was just going off, so I just set it on silent, left it, and went to sleep. And then when I woke up, I mean, it was obviously the story was in the paper. I played that day. Twitter went off.
What were it like playing that game? Because I was thinking that, because I know what rugby, not even banter, but in terms of you playing opposition. Did you get some shit in that game?
No, and I was shitting myself because obviously.
Because you've come out on the good side. Your teammates are all backing you. Now you're going to go play a local derby against little towns that hate each other. You're going against one of your old teams where rugby players can be ruthless.
100%.
And how that, because that build-up would have been like, shit, I've come out to my team, will give me a good side of this. Now I want to go against another team where everyone's going to probably judge me.
Yeah, so it was like I'd literally overnight, as far as the world was concerned, I'd gone from being Keegan straight guy to Keegan gay guy. And suddenly as a gay guy, you're open to people being homophobic and giving you shit, and I'd obviously never experienced that before, and I was shitting myself about it. I was like, how am I going to react if someone called me a puff or you gay bastard or whatever? They might get, don't grab me balls or whatever someone might say. Anyone can say anything in a tackle. There's loads of opportunity.
Of course there is.
And obviously there's rules in rugby league that you can't do that, and if the ref is it, they get punished, but there's lots of opportunity. So I was like, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. I don't know what's going to happen. I was kind of shitting myself about it. Plus there were loads of journalists there who weren't normally there because they wanted to see me. And to top it all off, Batley do a thing once a year where they're playing a pink kit for breast cancer for Beverly Nicholas, who's sadly passed away now, but her charity for her fundraiser for breast cancer that she did every year the Pink Weekend at Batley. They've done it before, they've done it since, and it just so happened that day the stars had aligned, and I had to play in a pink kit. So it was like Britain's only gay rugby league player. Here he is in a fucking pink kit. We were playing Dewsbury, and do you know what? Not one person said one thing. And as the game were going further and further on, I thought, fucking hell, no one's going to say anything here. And then the game finished, and we lost. And then we shake hands after, and the Dewsbury lads were like, you know, good on you, good for you, great work. I remember being in the showers after, just chatting with the lads, and I said, fucking hell, lads, I thought I was going to get some shit there. And I remember it was Sean Esker who said, he said, do you know what, Keegan, though? You're a good bloke, and people know you, so no one gives a shit.
That's cool.
And I thought, it meant a lot, that. It was probably just a passing comment to him.
The fact that it's stuck in your head.
Yeah. And then, I remember, I think a week after we were playing Featherstone, and I thought, fucking hell, I'm going to get it here. Like, old team. They didn't like me at Fev anyway.
A couple knobheads on that team.
A few knobheads, and I thought, if I don't get it from players, I'm going to get it from fans. I'm sorry to any Featherstone fans, because I've sold them short. Because I didn't hear anything at all, nothing at all, and I've never heard anything from a player ever. Never. People have said they've heard stuff in the crowd, but I haven't heard anything directly. So I've been really, really lucky in that sense. I suppose I'm 6'4", so maybe people would rather not take the chances.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was a scary moment for me, I thought, because I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I've been really lucky. I've not had to face a lot of negative stuff, even still. So I don't know how I'd react in that situation.
Any other players ever come out to you?
No.
I wondered if that had ever set a trend. Not a trend, that's the wrong word, isn't it? But like
a Spartacus thing where everyone goes, actually I'm out. Actually I'm gay.
Because as much as you're the first, you won't be the only, will you?
No, but I always think Gareth Thomas came out, and granted he played rugby union, and then he did come and play rugby league, and he actually got loads of shit off the Castleford fans, and they got a massive fine, and the RFL really clamped down on homophobic stuff. So I never thought about it, that Gareth had kind of paved the way for me, because I was so caught up in not being gay and being in denial that it didn't even register. Like, that's something that I could do. Yeah. So maybe other people if there is other people who are in the same situation, and they're just so busy trying not to be gay or trying not to be found out, because it must be a horrible thing to be outed. Someone go, oh, actually, so and so's gay. To have that when you're not ready for it, because I always say you can only come out when you're ready to do it. So if someone else isn't ready, and that, like, they might think that's Keegan, that's not me, I can't do that. So no one has come out, but Gareth Thomas has paved the way for me without me really knowing it, and then obviously I've done it and come out in the middle of my career and had a successful career afterwards. Yeah. I came out, was playing for Batley, and then we had an amazing season that year, and I don't know if it brought us all closer together.
Playing against that team.
Yeah.
Just seemed like they were different. They were galvanised.
Yeah.
Togetherness, and we were like we've got Keegan's back.
Yeah.
We have each other's back.
Yeah, 100%.
And just like there was a four-star. He's come top.
We came third.
Which we both for Batley.
Yeah, unheard of.
Winning league,
yeah, it was really the highest finish in the club's history. I had a really good year, and then I went on and never played Super League, never before. I'd spoken to a couple of clubs a couple of times, but it was never really in the offing. And then suddenly I went on to play Super League, and I've played like 70 Super League games in 3 years, and
you became yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
you could express that.
I suppose I didn't have to worry about people not knowing who I was, and so it freed up extra potential to do whatever that, and in that instance it was rugby.
Well, they say, don't they, that anything in life, it's 10% mechanics, 9% psychology.
Yeah.
And clearly that psychological barrier that you had at that time probably fucking you up a bit on it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I want to get into Elton John.
Okay.
I just think, I've never heard this story. You briefly touched on it upstairs one day when we were chatting, and I thought it'd be good just for me to hear it real and raw. And so you've come out.
Yeah, so I've come out on the papers come out on the Sunday. And like I said, I was working part-time, and I was manager at a factory, a company called Duvalet. They make beds for caravans, actually. And they'd sent me on like a risk assessment course. So it was at the Holiday Inn at Brighouse, if anyone knows it. And we were there, and it was was it the Monday? It was the Monday, lunchtime. I get a phone call, and it's a London number, and I answer, and it's a lady, and she says, "Hi, Keegan, it's so-and-so. Elton's PA." She said it quite quick, so I kind of, Elton's PA, what? And I said, "Pardon?" She went, "Elton John, I'm his PA. And I'd like to, his Ready story, and I'd like to know if I could pass on your phone number and your email to him." And I went, "Yeah." And then I put phone down and I thought, fuck off. I thought, it's one of the lads has got the missus to ring me up. Silly bastards. So then a couple of hours pass, and I get this phone call, and it, you know how it comes up on your phone, it says where it's from, you know, like the call location. And it said Nice. And I thought, fucking PPI. And then I kind of thought, PPI don't ring from Nice. Who knows what's going on with what came out in the paper yesterday. I thought, I'm going to ring this number back. So I ring it back, and this French guy answers, "Bonjour." And I said, "Hello, I've just had a phone call from this number." He's like, "Who is this?" I said, "Keegan Hirst." He says, "1 second." It goes quiet.
We went back to Yorkshire then. Who is this? 1 second.
yeah, 1 second. And then it goes quiet, and then I get, "Hi, Keegan, Elton here. David and I think you're absolutely fabulous. We read your story." And then he started talking, and I was like, fuck me, this is Elton John.
Global icon.
We had, like you say, iconic. And we had a chat for about 10 minutes. And he said some really nice stuff, and he said the world's changing and people like you are helping it change. It was a really nice thing to say. And like, I literally grew up listening to, my mum always had music on, Elton John was always on. I was like, you know, and we email each other every so often now, and his kids are the same age as mine, and see how he's doing. And went to meet him over year, went to one of his gigs and sat and had a chat with him, and yeah, like mad. Then the weekend after, I was at Manchester Pride with Anthony Cotton, who's since become my best mate. Ian McKellen was there, who was good mates with Anthony. You know, Ian, top guy, met Ian a fair few times now, and they introduced me on the stage at Manchester Pride, which is a big gig. It's like a festival. It's like basically huge. A festival. There's thousands and thousands of people there. And as we went to go on, obviously I've not done any speaking in public at that point, and I was shitting myself. You know, it was. Before that, I mean, I'd gone for a meal with them on the Friday evening, and I'd driven, and they'd had a drink, and they said, "We'll get a taxi back," and I said, "I'll drop you off if you want." And at the time, I was driving a Peugeot 306, so I took them home. So I had Gandalf sat in the front of the car, Sean from Corrie in the back, I had I had Ant's boyfriend Pete in the back, and their mate called Joe. And Gandalf had just finished filming Beauty and the Beast, so he was talking about that. So it was this really surreal ride home. So I dropped them off, and Ant was amazing. He's an amazing bloke. Said some really nice stuff, and we kind of hit it off and became good friends. And then the next day we were on the main stage, and we're going to go on. And Ian said, Ant was going to go on. He was going to introduce Ian. Ian was going to do a big talk about a bit of a political thing. Obviously, the Pride's a really political thing, and he was going to talk about Russia, and he was going to do it. And I didn't find this out until later on. And he said, "And I'll introduce you." And he said, "Keegan Hirst." So I hear Anthony go on. He goes on. I hear Ian go on. He starts talking. Then I just hear Keegan Hirst, but I just heard Keegan Hirst. He didn't say Keegan. Like an introductory one. So I just wandered onto the stage. Everyone starts cheering. I didn't realise that I'd cut off Ian's 15-minute pre-prepared speech. And I didn't find out until after. Yeah, so I went on and they interviewed me. I was like, "Oh yeah, you're all right." And I cut.
You're from Batley.
Yeah, literally just cut Ian McKellen, LGBT activist who was going to do a massive talk. You know, getting people engaged and stuff, and I just cut him off.
How did it go and end up?
It went really well. We had it went well, and I found out So that New Year's, then I was at Ian's party for New Year's, and then I found out that he said you come down. So we like laugh about it now, but I was like, oh my, I was mortified.
That's quality though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, walked out. Not your time.
Not
You just say, thanks for having me back. After me, there'll be Keegan Hirst.
Yeah, it was kind of like, what amazing news about rugby player Keegan Hirst coming out, and everyone was like, whoa, and then I wandered onto the stage. Yeah, fist pumping.
That's brilliant. What's your goal now? Because like you've come through this, and I always think like I believe the secret to living is giving, and like when you've been through something, once you've learned from it, it's like give back, and that's what you seem to be doing. And we've had a chat about you coming involved with No Box Ticked, and the theory behind doing that is that too many companies and organisations tick fucking boxes, which piss me off.
Yeah.
And when I met you, I feel that you're in that category where you're not bothered about ticking boxes, you're bothered about helping people, rather than putting words in your mouth. Like, what are you wanting to do now for the next generation of people who are struggling with their identity?
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it is, isn't it? Whether it's gay, whatever we want to call it, people struggling with their identity.
Yeah. So, and there's so many identities that we have. We put some time, like today we've got our podcast cap on, haven't we? And you go upstairs and you put your Andy's Man Club cap on, and then you go home and you've got your dad cap on, and we all have these different identities. Some are imposed, some are self-imposed. So obviously I've just signed at Halifax, so that's something that obviously I love rugby. I've got that coming up. I've got my testimonial this year. I've got I've started doing a online coaching business, which I like because it's helping people. I've been a fat kid. I've struggled with my weight, with that identity. So being able to be in the know and give people help back is something that I really enjoy and get a kick out of. But I love the speaking side of it. I've been going lately to talk to football academies, talk to their about identity in sport, about being yourself and how important that is to your success. Me coming out and suddenly I'm a Super League player, and being able to go around and spread the message that I suppose like what you're doing. It's okay to be who you are. Be who you are. Be who you are, not who you think you're supposed to be.
Nice.
And it's something that I'm really passionate about and telling people. Something when I became friends with Anthony, no one had ever said to me before, and I don't blame anyone for this, but no one had ever said to me, you can be whatever you want to be. And I think it's such a powerful thing to say to someone, whether it's a kid or an adult, for someone just to hold you up a little bit and just say, you can do whatever you want to do, and I'll support you. And Ant kind of did that for me, and I love him for that. But that was kind of a seminal moment, and I think if someone had come into maybe Batley one day and said, lads, fucking hell, I know what it's like, I know what the pressure is of being a man in today's society, of being a rugby player, of having to do this and do that, and obviously not just applicable to rugby players, just to men in general, and the stigma and the societal pressure or perceived pressures that are there, to say, do you know what, if you're a bit of a geek and you love reading, fucking do it. Yes. If you want to go and do a university degree in fucking plant biology, go and do it. You can do whatever you want to do. There's loads of ways to facilitate it. Sometimes, you have to dig a little bit deeper and it's not the easiest option and it takes a bit of effort and a bit of time. But if you just have that one person, I've not spoken to my mum for 4 years, and you touched on this earlier, so I suppose it brings us round nicely. Like you say, the right people in your life will stick around because they're the right people and they care about you as a person.
Not who you are or what you've got.
Yeah. So when that all came out with my mum, I remember not speaking. I didn't speak. My mum had fallen out with my nan. I'd not really spoken to my nan a lot. Because I'd fallen out with my mum, I thought, my nan's not going to want anything to do with me because that's my mum's mum. And funnily, I went to a funeral this week. I suppose not funnily, but I went to a funeral this week. My mum wasn't there, but my nan was there. And she came up, and I've not seen my nan for as long as I've not seen my mum, so 4 years. And she came up to me and I thought, what's this 70-odd-year-old woman who's my mum's mum, who doesn't like the fact that I'm gay, what is she going to say now? So I was kind of steeling myself for, not an argument, but
ready for it,
to defend myself. And she came up to me and she said, have you fallen out with me? And I said, no, I'm not falling out with you. She said, I don't care who you are, what you are, I just love you for who you are. And it I was not expecting it. It just like kind of melted my heart, and I thought, all this time, there's those people in your life, and sometimes you don't know they're there. I didn't know she was there. I didn't know she had that opinion. Sometimes you've got to ask.
Because you put two and two and make five, don't you?
Yeah.
My mum thinks it. That's her mum. They're very similar. She'll think that.
100%.
Then you sort of not fall out with them, but
distance myself because you don't.
I really had an extra person.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
People do that with like mental health, don't they?
100%.
Or problems in life. They go, well, because I've got this problem, and my dad's opinion is that.
Yeah.
My uncles and my brothers, and they're all going to fix it. So you disconnect yourself and you become quite isolated. You got a rugby team where there's people who are going to listen today who maybe feel like they've got no one.
Yeah.
But actually, by having those different conversations,
Yeah.
you'll find that there is actually people who are there
100%.
for you.
And what you find is, when I came out with the lads, I'm the only gay person some of those lads know. So they were saying stuff in the changing room that probably was homophobic, which makes me think, fuck, these guys hate gay people. But it wasn't homophobic, it was just how they spoke, it was just they didn't know anyone who was gay, and suddenly they did. And it was like, oh no, sorry if we've offended you, we've not thought about it like that, it just puts a different perspective on it. And suddenly, where you think you've got someone who's against your thinking or your problem, or someone who's going to give you shit, and this, just by talking about it, they become an ally. And someone who's on your side, and that kind of person who's saying, well, you know, we've got you back, which is what the lads did. But if you don't give people that opportunity by talking to them,
how can you ever know?
How can you ever know? And you end up isolated, and none of us want to be isolated, whatever we're suffering with.
It's one of us human needs, isn't it? Connection and love.
Yeah.
And if you, again, it's that back to hopelessness.
Yeah,
if you end up disconnecting yourself so much, you feel like you're isolated, you're lonely.
Yeah.
And you can ask that question: is it worth living?
Yeah.
And it isn't. It still is.
Yeah.
You found there that you're not. And there's something I want to touch on with you, because as we're talking, it's World Mental Health Day, and we're talking about good well-being. I noticed today you've put out some points for good mental health.
Yeah.
And you've come through this period. You'll still have had peaks and troughs like we all have in life. Constantly,
100%.
we're all ebbing and flowing out.
Yeah.
What's Keegan's top three?
I think talking. I know it sounds really cliche, but talking. I'm not embarrassed to say after I came out, I used Sporting Chance, which is a fantastic charity, and spoke to a counsellor because I was struggling with not coming out. I was happy about that. I was struggling with the guilt side of it, my relationship with the kids, and honestly, that was the best thing I've ever done. If you feel like you're struggling, counselling is a wonderful thing. Talking with someone who's non-judgmental. And that doesn't have to be a counsellor like me having Anthony and Peter in my corner.
And not plugging it behind his man club, is that safe space for a lot of people?
Exactly. Going to a group where you can share and it's non-judgmental is an amazing experience. And so talking is certainly up there. Exercise for me, obviously I would say that as a rugby player and a coach, but your physical health and your mental health are so similar. If you don't keep on top of them, they go to shit.
Yes.
So if you don't, if you sat on your ass all day, it's the equivalent of not looking at it, staring at the TV all day. You're not exercising your brain, you're not exercising your body. Once you start doing one, the other one will usually follow. So exercise, and don't spend hours on a fucking cardio machine and running. If you don't like running, go find something that you like. Try different things. CrossFit, tennis class, yoga, whatever it is you like, go do something.
And while we're on about exercise, I want to just give people a little lesson here, and I'll ask you, you're a coach, if I want to get a bigger chest and I do bench press every single day, what will eventually happen to my chest?
Well, eventually you get tired out. And
that's a bit like his mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
What people don't realise is, when does the muscle actually grow?
When you're recovering.
And we're at a point in life now where we're constantly distracting ourselves. His mind actually never rests.
Yeah.
Which is why meditation, mindfulness, plug of the BU journal,
boredom,
being present.
People think boredom's the enemy, and boredom's
the friend.
Boredom's
the saviour.
A good thing, like a bit of quiet time, bit of clarity. And like you say, I meditate now. I journal every so often. I kind of go in and out of journaling. Some people want to do it every day, some people do it every so often. Whatever suits you. I think it's another way of getting stuff off your chest.
Yes, big time.
Because sometimes you think someone said something to you, fucking really upset you, and then you say it out loud, and you think, God, that's not that big a deal. Or you write it down and you read it back and you go, that's not that big a deal. And rather than it sitting and festering and being horrible inside you, just get it off your chest.
And weirdly enough, and it's not, and this isn't a plug, the BU journal is a 2-in-1 journal. Sounds like a sales pitch. For that exact reason. On the back, there's an area called offload, because what I found was in too many journals, it were all about being positive thinking it, and I think life ain't always positive.
No.
There's occasions where someone might come out, or someone might leave a relationship, or leave that job that they're in because they don't feel like they can be themselves, and then they move on, and it's all positive. But within that process, there's going to be downtimes, and having a space to offload, whether it be a talking group, whether it be going to the gym, and using a physical output as a way to get rid of stuff. We've all got to have a way to offload, haven't we?
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is it's okay offloading this shit, but you've got to put some good stuff back in.
Yeah.
So what are you learning? What are you taking on each day? What are you listening to?
Yeah.
And your mind's a bit like a garden, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if we get straight to weeds, there's only one way to get rid of a weed.
Yeah.
It's a fucking root.
Yeah.
And if too many people want to trim the weeds and just deal with problems lightly, they're never going to go away.
Yeah, yeah.
And the same thing, if you put nice roses in your garden, you have to expect a few pricks from now and again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Take that as you want, right? Whether it be people or it be just
Yeah.
hard situations in life.
Yeah, definitely.
But in order to grow a good rose bush, it takes some tendering, doesn't it?
Yeah, it takes time and patience, and having good mental health is like having a good body. It doesn't happen overnight. You've got to work at it. I read books. I'm a sucker for a self-help book.
I'll show you in a minute.
Awareness books. I've just finished a great book called Insight. It's really good, on about having more self-awareness, and you should always be trying to better yourself. Like I got a couple of audiobooks. I learned a bit of French. I don't know why. Just because, I enjoy it. I enjoy learning. I enjoy reading. People say I've not got time to read. If you've not got time to read, you're not reading the right stuff. Because if it's something that's engaging and that you like, and that could be a fucking Agatha Christie novel. It could be a raunchy erotica novel. It could be could be anything. It could be The Life and Times of Genghis Khan. It doesn't matter if you're engaged. Just do something. It's a nice release. It's away from screens. It's just reading such a good thing to do. Yeah.
And what would be number 3?
So
we had number 1.
What did I say? Talking.
Number 2 is exercise, and number 3.
Tough one. I think I want to say eating right because it's such an important part, but I'm gonna go with sleep.
Nice.
Because I think sleep is something that so many people underestimate. If I told you there's something I can do for you, it's going to improve how much weight you can lose, it's going to improve how much muscle you can build, it's going to recover you, it's going to lower your stress levels, it's going to improve your testosterone levels, it's going to reset all your hormones, you're going to feel recharged from it. It's a magic pill. Would you take it? I would say 99% of people would take it. Yeah. And then I say, do you know what, actually, if you sleep 8 hours a night, you'll get that anyway. And then people go, I can't do that. So I think having really good sleep hygiene, getting in a routine, staying away from screens before bed, moving your phone out of your bedroom, having a nice sleeping environment, which is dark, cool bedroom, good mattress, and having a regular routine. Get your 7 hours minimum. Try aim for 8, and after a week, watch how much better your life is. Yep. You'll be energized. You'll have more patience with things. It's such an untapped, easy resource that people have got to make their lives better.
Because we're all so busy, everyone wants to try to squeeze in much in 24 hours. But the one thing that we get the most productivity out of, after sleeping, that we try to cut that bit down. The only thing is I usually say to people, you find an excuse or you find a way. Yeah. And I'm going to have a bit of fun with it and say, you said that anyone can sleep 8 hours, and I thought you were going to say, when people question that, you'd give it a bit and say, no, I don't sleep 8 hours. Yeah. What I'm going to say is, I'm going to pull you on that one because I've got a baby at the minute, right?
Yeah.
And she's been ill for a week now, right? I mean, she took her to doctor yesterday, but I'm talking like she's pooing.
That's the joy
every
of parenthood.
5 minutes, literally. Last night, I went up and got in bed with her at 11, and by, I think, 2, my missus took over, and my missus didn't sleep from 2 till 7. So then we were both a little bit snappy with each other. So today's been a bit like, So I made sure Sam from BU Productions, we're here on time for once, and he was. But it can get you a bit, can't it? 100%. It can, sleep that. You become a little bit snappy, a little bit agitated. And
I know what it's like. You've had a busy day at work, you've got in at late, and you think, I just want to wind down and I just want to watch some TV and veg out for a little bit. And I get it. But that vegging out, you'd be so much better suited to having a couple of extra hours in bed. And you feel like, well, I've not fucking done anything today. All I've done is gone to work, come home, eaten and gone to sleep. But that's not going to be every day.
Well, it's that old saying, isn't it? If you do what is easy, life will be hard.
Yeah.
If you do what is hard, life will be easy.
Yeah. Easy choice is hard life. Hard choice is easy life.
So you take that choice on that moment, you know, it's going to be a little bit better later on, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So business-wise, so I'm going to try and touch on a variety of topics on this podcast, and we'll wrap it up here because you've got your business.
Yeah.
And I love business. What most people think is that actually people is my passion. People is one of my passions, but I love business.
Yeah.
So where you at? What's going on? Because you're coming into that stage now. You came out. Your career took off. You became yourself. You had 3 amazing years in Super League. You're now going back to part-time to my hometown team. I'm a fanboy, Halifax, and you're starting to transition out here back.
Yeah.
So what's next for Keegan? What business-wise, life-wise?
Yeah, so PTIQ is obviously the name of my online coaching business. And do you know what? That has been fucking scary, that. Because it's so many things that I'm not comfortable with, that I've not done before. Accounting, marketing, sales, opening yourself up to rejection. People say, I don't like sales. No, you don't like rejection.
You get me excited, honestly.
It's been,
so you're talking about it,
it's been such a learning curve for me. And I've found myself having to check myself and go, I really don't want to do that. I'm not comfortable with it. But I've followed my own advice, and you suck it up and you make a plan and you stick to it. And when you do it, you feel the relief. You go, I fucking did that. I've got 20 clients who are getting great results. And it's been a learning curve, and I've been open and honest with them. I was like, listen lads, I'm figuring this out. You know, it's for guys who are overweight, because that's somewhere that I've been and I can coach from authentically. I've never had trouble putting weight on, so I don't want to tell people how to do that, because I don't. So that's been exciting and scary. And then obviously the speaking side of things is something that's up and running and going with regards to the football stuff, with the corporate stuff that I've done, which are obviously 2 very different audiences. So, you know, learning to speak in public is something that I'm always been good at speaking in a changing room, but speaking to people who are not from a sporting environment is different.
Or necessarily might not want to be there.
Yeah.
Already got in that rapport.
100%. Catering to, you know, when I go into the academies, they're young lads. So that's different to speaking to 30-odd-year-old blokes. It's different to speaking to Janet from HR. So that's been a learning curve, and that's been scary. And I've spoken in front of some big audiences, but you got to challenge yourself. Nothing grows in your comfort zone, does it?
Exactly.
You got to step outside, and I think the thing that I've learned is that when you get that feeling going, I don't want to do that, I'm scared of that, I don't want to do it. You've got to aim in for that and go towards it, which is the opposite of what you want to do. You want to run from it, don't you?
Exactly.
But you've got to really try and go, you know, I don't want to go to the gym. Fuck, that must be something you need to do then.
Exactly.
So go. I don't want to, you know, do that extra evening class to get better so I can get a promotion. You probably need to do it then. Aiming on it. And then once you do it, and once you overstep that, like getting that thing off your chest, once you get through the door and do it the first time, you think, oh, I wish I'd done this sooner.
And that's the thing with any level of success. People often think that. Well, I always say to people, when I used to get up early every single morning and go grinding to build the business I've got now. So what people say on social media now, business-wise, they think that just happens overnight. They don't realise that 7 years ago, when you were trying to write content and come up with ideas and all this type of stuff, that it doesn't happen overnight. So where I've got to now in my life is I've built this thing that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So this podcast might have been on my list for over a year, but it's been on the list. The coffee shop's been on the list for 3-5 years. The journal, all these stuff, and I think, you know, some aren't going to work, some are, but how do you ever know unless you try it?
100%.
What I never want to get to, and this is something I want to pick on you earlier, is we're at the average age of living now, 78 to 82, something like that. We're all, you know, we're going to die. So 100 years from now, my daughters will be dead. I'm a little boy, right? And it sounds harsh saying that. With that in mind, us in this room will be dead way before that. So why live a life where you're not truly happy? And happiness is going to come and go. It's going to ebb and flow. But if you're not happy in that relationship you're in, you're not happy in that job you're in. Because let's break this down. This isn't just about sexuality, as I said. You can relate this back to, I was thinking while you're talking, you can relate this back to being in a job you hate. So I left rugby, right? Because I didn't feel like I could be myself. And that sounds mad for some people. Because the one thing that wants my escape became the one thing that I wanted to escape, because I didn't feel like I could turn up anymore and be me. Because some of my ideologies and what I were about now were a little bit different to that changing room banner. And you'll know that, like being in what you're into. So for me, it was like I got a lot more out of being myself by being able to take my mask off and open up. So I took that jump, and I've never been as happy in my life. And that's for that person who's listening today who wants to come out about the gender, the sexuality, the job, the relationship. Don't wait until that day comes where you're living your deathbed and go, what if?
100%.
Take that chance now.
The thing is, if you are doing something that you're not happy doing, like you say, whether that's a job, relationship, whatever, you're not living your life. You live in somebody else's.
Exactly.
You're doing it because somebody else wants you to do it. You might feel guilty, you might feel bad, you might hurt someone. Your happiness is ultimately your responsibility. And that sounds really harsh because we all have people in our lives who are important to us, who we want to see be happy. But they've got to get it themselves. They've got to get... You can help facilitate it, but they've got to do the work themselves.
Yeah, but it's inside job, innit?
100%.
We're putting too much on. The car we drive, the house we have, and listen, all those things are nice things.
Yeah.
The holidays are going, but actually, your mind goes everywhere with you, so your mind is still in that new car that you've got to pay for, or that house. It's getting an inside job, and if we can take more ownership...
I went to this funeral on Monday. It was family friend, and I counted there were 39 people there, and my ego said, fuck me, I'd be gutted if there were only 39 people at my funeral. And I looked around, and he was an old bloke, 79 years old, and as you go through and you start listening to the telling you about the life and stuff, and one bit got me, and he said, it talks about what Tony had done, and then it said, he lived a good life and he laughed often. And I thought, you know what, that's a fucking good life then, innit?
That's it.
And if you can do that and live a good life, which is your life, and that might be living in your hometown all your life, if that's what you want to do it, because you'll die happy knowing that you've done it. Don't die wondering why.
One,
yeah.
So if you could give one message today to anyone listening, ultimately, how for them to be you, not you, be them.
Yeah.
So if you would say to someone, my message to you, to be you is... It's on the spot a bit, isn't it? But
be honest with yourself first, because that's the first port of call, and it's a really difficult thing to do, is be honest with yourself, is who am I, what do I want? And it might not be what you want to hear. It might be, I don't actually want to be with this person I've been with for 5 years. I don't want to live in this place that I've lived. I don't want this job. And that's quite a difficult thing sometimes to get your head around. And once you've been honest with yourself, be honest with other people.
Love that.
Yeah.
And I think, hopefully you've enjoyed this first ever Rhythm Raw podcast.
Yeah,
I think you're definitely going to get you back on, and I'm certainly looking forward to do some more work with BU Productions and the No Box Ticked. So
awesome,
any people that are listening on here who've already followed me for talks, we are going to be getting Keegan out and about doing some inclusivity work, aren't we? So
yeah,
it's exciting times ahead, and yeah, mate, thanks for coming.
No, thanks for having me, mate. It's been really good.